Hey guys, and welcome back to Brassy Goat, and today we're going to be looking at the new trailer for Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I know it's been a while, but I'm back, so let's go ahead and get into it. At the very beginning of the trailer, we start off with a scene of the Sky Islands, as the camera kind of goes through the cloud, and we can see all these really cool sky islands. You can also see a Skyview Tower, a couple of them on the ground there. Here you can see a construct fighting a choo-choo, and on this sky island in particular, you can see some Zonai lights or torches all around. This is just a quick scene of a construct chopping a tree. Here in this scene, we can see Link skydiving. You can also see a floating box in the background as well. Then he zooms past some sky islands. You can also see one of those green swirly thingies in the background, as well as this temple that we keep seeing in most of the trailers. And as Link goes past it, we can start to see a view of the ground, see some Malice pools back there in the background, Hyrule Castle, Death Mountain, all this kind of stuff. You can see some Skyview Towers, and all sorts of other stuff, such as these markings that appear to be everywhere, and then as we fade into the logo, you can see another one in the top left. Here you can see Link paragliding and landing on the ground. Now we get a scene of Hateno Village, which seems to be covered in these weird mushroom-type things. I don't know. You can also see a Skyview Tower in the background as well. Now we're in Castletown, which seems to be rebuilt. And if you look closely there, you can see Link walking through it. Here we can see Link climbing a mountain by Kakariko Village. There also seems to be a piece of a sky island that has fallen onto one of the mountains. You can also see one of the Zonai swirls here. Here we can see Link running out of the Zonai ruins, and you can also see the Hebra storm in the background. Here we can see that we are in the Gerudo Desert, and there seems to be some sort of temple rising from the sand. Here we get a scene of Hyrule Castle, where debris is falling from the Sky Islands. You can see the Zonai green light coming from them, and you can also see some Sheikah observing it. Here we get a shot of a figure looking at the Blood Moon. This could be Ganondorf, or it could even be Demise himself, but the camera cuts right before we can see the face. This really does seem to be Demise, from the clothes to the hair and just everything about him. Here we get the shot that we know and maybe love? I don't know. And it is Zelda falling and Link trying to grab her, but her ultimately falling. Here we're back in the Gerudo Desert, and you can see that there are some holes in the sand. Could this lead to the underground? We don't know. You can also see some Zonai swirls in the background, as well as the weird images. Here we see a scene of Link running. There's lava flowing from above, so this could possibly even be in Death Mountain, and he seems to be running towards some temple. Here we can see we're right outside the Great Hebra Storm, and there are some Rito airships here waiting to pick up Link. Most likely Tulin coming to pick up Link, and you can see 3 other airships in the background. Here we can see Link gravity jumping into these gravity bubbles. Could this be a new ability that he has, like Ascend, and all these other cool abilities that are coming in this game? We'll just have to find out. Here we can see Link using some sort of wingsuit to dodge these lasers in this booby-trapped tunnel. Here we can see Link using this mechanism to move this giant ball. You can also see in the background that there's a dispenser that dispenses parts for crafting. Here you can see Link paragliding through some sort of tunnel, and if you look closely, you can see some blue orbs. Link is in some sort of giant battle with all different kinds of Highlands in this scene, and they're fighting all different kinds of monsters, which is really cool. Here, Link is rising in some sort of Sheikah elevator. Now we can see some sort of figure that seems to have been defeated in battle. You can also see some red orbs glowing around them. You can also see this might be the old champions. You can see a Rito, as well as a Gerudo in the background. Here we can see Link is riding his horse. And in this scene, we can see we're in some sort of deep, dark dungeon, and this absolutely massive construct comes out of the wall, possibly and probably trying to act as a boss. This is most likely in some sort of memory state, but Link is inside Hyrule Castle, but it is definitely not destroyed, which is absolutely really cool. You can see the Triforce up at the top there as well. Here we get a scene of Zelda in third person, because this may be a hint at Zelda being playable later in the game, but she seems to be unlocking some sort of puzzle. Here we see Link grab the Master Sword, but his arm is not corrupted. This could mean either one of two things. Either this is a memory when Link first got the Master Sword, or at the very end of the game when he repairs it. Here we see some sort of Zonai leader talking to Zelda. He might even be King Rome. He kind of has his kind of build, but Zelda looks very sad in this scene. Here we see Link riding this Zonai bird that we saw in one of the past trailers. Here we see Link using a sword-shield hybrid to defeat some constructs. Here we see Link gliding over that ball that we saw earlier. Here we see Link having a boss fight against some evil Goron, but there seems to be some Goron children watching in the background. But this reminds me of Silly Dillo and Kirby in the Forgotten Land. Here we see Link and Tulin jumping off the canopy of one of the Rito airships. Here we see Link pulling a carriage that he seems to have fused together, carrying some passengers. Here we see Link use his reverse time ability, that is new for this game, and it seems to be a powered up version of Stasis, but he uses it on this Octo Rock and fires it back at him. Here we see Link using a rocket to launch up into the sky. Here we see Link using his gravity jump ability again to do some platforming across these Zonai stones. And here we see Link fighting a construct with a bow, and he's in this lava temple with lava everywhere. It seems to be coming from above, and if you look in the background, Link is actually underground, which is really cool. Here, Link is on some battle machine that he has fused together. He's going up against a stone talus enemy camp, which is really cool. It seems to be in the Akala region because you can see these like orange, reddish leaves everywhere. Here we see Link riding his horse, and he fuses a ruby to his arrow, which causes it to have a flame effect. Here we see Link fire an arrow at an enemy camp, which has a device on it that shoots lasers everywhere. And if you look at the Bokoblin in the background with the backpack, he actually has a bunch of choo-choo jelly that he's carrying, which is really cool. After that, we see Link and Tulin fighting this giant ice monster spider crab thing in the Great Heber Storm, which is a really cool, unique boss battle. Real quick, we see an explosion of malice. After that, we see Zelda look down at one of the Tears of the Kingdom. Then we see Ganondorf shoot some malice into the air, but if you looked closely, you could see that those were two different shots. We see some monsters being consumed by malice. These include Bokoblins, Moblins, and yes, even Lynels. After that, we see the Master Sword and Link's hand being corrupted by malice. We then get our first look at reborn Ganondorf, and if you look closely, you'll see that the thing shining is actually one of the Tears of the Kingdom, this one being red. Link gets chased by a purple ink shark in this scene. Link and Tulin are flying down to possibly and probably meet the ice monster we saw a couple scenes ago. Then we see a new form of Zelda, possibly even the goddess Hylia, shoot a giant mega laser at an army of Moldugas. Then we get a shot of Riju, and you can see that she cut her hair and now has two giant Gerudo swords. Then if you look up close, you can see that Riju has an orange Tear of the Kingdom as her earring. Then you get to see Link standing together with the people of Hyrule. Then we see Link and Sidon comboing on a construct with a spear. And if you look in the background, you can actually see Zora's domain. So this means Zora's domain has floated into the sky. Then we see Link standing with the four new champions, but I do wonder why they replaced Teba with Tulin. It does make you wonder, doesn't it? But they seem to be charging at something. And if you look up close, you can see Tulin has a green Tear of the Kingdom. And if you saw back there, Sidon has a blue one. And a lot of people are saying Yunobo's dead. But if you look closely in this shot, you can see a boulder breaker. For our final shot of Link, we see him pull out a crystal sword, getting ready to fight Fire Gleeok. And then we see Zelda holding the Master Sword. This is possibly and probably at the end of the game. Then we cut to the logo. Wow, guys, this was absolutely insane. I hope you guys enjoyed going through that with me, and I hope you guys come back for more videos sometime soon. So make sure to be subscribed, hit the notification bell, and put in the comments what you would like me to talk about next. And that's all for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This is Brassy Goat signing off. See ya.